Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Manor Lords, where I've been looking at our supplies going into this winter. And Waldbrand only has 3 months of food right now. That is not great, but to be honest, it should be okay. We'll have the harvest coming in next month, and that will mean that the windmill and the communal oven will be active, and we should produce a good amount of food in the next little while over there. Now, over here in Zawao, this is okay for now. We do have the wild animals and the berries being harvested. So that is all absolutely okay. We're working on getting that handled. Now we're plowing this field. We're not going to get much out of it this year. That's expected. I don't know that we'll even get it planted before the harvest. We'll see how that ends up going. It's really weird the way that oxen work in this game for the fields, but whatever. That seems fine. And up over here in Nuslo, this is where the potential problem comes in. And that is specifically the fact that we've got 2 months of food here. Now, we do have a lot of food production in our vegetable gardens and our chicken coops. So we will have some sustained food production that way. But we might want to consider having another food source, right? We did just put in an additional family on the hunting camp out over here. That said, hunting limit is 10, and there are 12 wild animals there right now. This berry deposit here is 60 of 64, so that is noted. I'm wondering about moving our forager's hut to be down here, just to be a little bit closer to the actual berries. That might not be a bad idea to do that. So we'll do that. Hopefully that means less travel time overall. It's still going to be the same amount of travel time to get it up to the granary, right? But that's okay. And we can toss in a family over here at the granary. In theory. Okay, so hopefully that will end up making matters be a little bit better. So we'll head on forward here. The question is, how long is it before September? And the answer to that is, we'll find out. Our plowing over here is getting more efficient. It's not great, but it is improving. So that's something. But it's going to be September very soon. So that is absolutely understood, and supplies are definitely a bit of a concern. So Waldbrand, I'm really not that concerned about. It's mostly Nuslo that I'm concerned about. What requirements are not being met? This burgage? Okay. That's understood. To be honest, it's lacking a tavern supply and food stall supply. Yeah, to be honest, I'm going to give it a chicken coop. We really need additional food production over here. Like, very badly. And that'll be okay for now. So what other food production can we potentially get? Well, we could put in some sort of a farming area. Like a small field down over where this pasture is, or up over here, maybe? I don't think that's necessary, though, to be honest. I really don't. I think we should be fairly self-sustaining with what we've got over here. But maybe we're not. Maybe we're not. We'll keep an eye out on that. And over here in Waldbrand, we are at 3 months. Over here, we're at 4 months of food. Yeah, that's to be expected. So food over here is going to be pretty tight. No doubt about that. Construction finished on the forager hut out over this direction. That looks good. And we can definitely add an herb garden there, which we will certainly do. Okay, so they're going to be gathering from this berry deposit down here, and that's going to have no one in it right now. Noted. I do want a construction family here, so we should pull somebody out of the weaver's workshop. In fact, I'm going to pull 2 out of the weaver's workshop, and we are going to come down here instead, and we're going to put them in the forager hut. Okay, so we want both of them to be a foraging. That'll be good. Now, back over here, I want to check on our sheep situation. Okay, we have delivered some additional sheep, so that's looking good. 4 months of food, 3 months of food, and Nuslo is running out of food. It's down to 1 month of food. Okay, so we might want to import some food for this year, and maybe take some measures for next year. Now, we have most of our people employed at this moment. So if we were to do that, the question is, what would we be looking at doing? Well, for one thing, we can get rid of our tithe here. That is one thing we can certainly do. Wild animals are at 13 of 20. That is noted. Okay. So we could definitely consider putting in a field. That would be a next year thing. For now, we may want to consider having some sort of a buy order on food here. What's the cheapest food? Eggs, vegetables, meat? Fair enough. What if we kept a minimum amount of food imported as 10? That seems like that might not be a bad idea. So we're going to get some food coming in that way. We've got other methods of food coming in. We do have someone working in the granary, so that is noted. We can also increase our pantry size. But we might want to think about next year having a small farming plot to help out this area. I was hoping that the food production from all of these burgages would be sufficient, but it appears that that may not be the case. We can actually expand the living space here, and I would like to do so. And we actually do not have a chicken coop here. So that should get started. We could do a backyard extension here. That'll be a chicken coop due to the size of the backyard. That seems okay. Do we have any backyard extensions that we can do here? The answer is no, we do not. Okay. So that is not surprising. Not particularly surprising. I do want to check in on this fertility here, and that pretty much means if we want to do wheat, it would be right out over here. Or over here, actually. Okay, so I do think that a small field over here, a field of something along the lines of, like, this or so. This isn't a small field. This is a pretty big field. A field something along the lines of this is probably good. So we're going to build that. We're also going to build a farmhouse across the way. Like so. This field is going to be fallow this year. It's currently September, though. So we're going to have wheat in that next year. Okay, so it's September right now. This field is being plowed. That will not be a thing until next year. Noted. What do we have going on down here? I have no idea what these are. Okay, that's fine. So that's absolutely okay. We should be coming in and harvesting over this way. Now, these fields are not going to be fallow this next year, although this one probably should be. We're going to have to change the crop that it is going to have. These fields are going to be fallow this next year. These ones are going to be replanted. So that's okay. I'm definitely fairly concerned about the food situation up here in Muslo. So let's take a quick look at the people here. These guys are transporting and waiting. Okay. We could also order a horse here. I wonder, is there any stable space here? I'm not convinced that there is. Yeah, I don't think that there is. But this field here should go some distance towards helping that out. And then we can also build ourselves a windmill over here. And then, yeah, a windmill somewhere. The windmill efficiency here is quite low, but perhaps a windmill efficiency over here. Cool. We'll do that, and then we'll also put in a communal oven somewhere like here. Cool. So that will definitely help the food production here. I don't think we would need very many families in the farmhouse over here, but we'll definitely work on that. So the food production over here is grim. No doubt about that. We need a farmhouse. Yes, we have one queued up. That's fine. So we have some pantry goods over here. Indeed. And that berry deposit, we definitely want to get as soon as we can. We are getting a basket, plowing by hand, transporting, and gathering berries. Okay, so we're going to be getting wheat from this field this next year. What about fertility regeneration? Well, we might create a second field and just alternate between them. That might be what we end up doing. But for now, that's fine. This over here should have enough to survive through the winter, I think, as we continue to work on this berry deposit. We don't have anyone in this forager hut. Right. We don't have the population growth right now. Okay. Let's stop with the logging camp. Let's send them over to forage for the time being. The hunting camp will be continuing to produce some food. That'll be fine. And the plowing out over here will finish fairly soon, and that'll get sown for next year. But we want to get those berries as soon as possible. So these fields are going to remain. This field is going to be fallow this next year. Or no, it's not. It's going to get planted. So we're going to have this one be wheat. We're going to change what the crop type here is because 1% fertility is not very good. That's for sure. I'm very concerned about the food situation up here. Very, very concerned about it indeed. We should have our vegetable crop coming in eventually, though, and these chickens are producing ongoing food sources. And we do have this hunting over here, which is, in theory, happening, and the foraging, which is also, in theory, happening. This forager hut can have up to 4 families now. That is definitely noted. So we're going to be plowing by hand some of this stuff. That seems fine. But yeah, 1 month of food is definitely not amazing. Over here, we've got 3 months of food, but that will all get handled fairly soon. Okay, so this field is currently flax, and we're going to want to change this to be a wheat field for sure. We want to do some crop rotation here. This field is currently wheat. I'm going to change that to be our flax field. This is a barley field here. This field maybe should become our barley field. Okay. Keeping an eye on the harvest here. How are we doing on our food up this way? Have we started importing any? I don't know. It's hard to say. That's a definite maybe. Definite maybe. So we do have all of this food production from our burgages. I was hoping that would be enough to sustain this town, but it's clear that it is not. So we'll continue to work on that. Now, as far as this town goes, this is absolutely going to be a food production powerhouse, but it's going to take it some time. 4 months of food is going to be a little bit rough here, I suspect, but we're going to harvest what we can of these berries. So that'll be good. Where's our granary here? Do we have anyone working in the granary? No, we don't. We need people here more than anything. So we need our approval to go up. That'll take time, and food. We'll need some food. That will be important. Okay, so checking in on our primary field work over here. We'll continue to get these harvests done. Exposed stalks are getting exposed. Yeah, that's not super shocking. It's just these herbs. I don't actually care too much about the herbs. That'll be okay. So, this field is currently set up as barley. We're going to have this be a wheat field. This one is currently set up as wheat, and so is this. I think this will be a barley field. This might be a barley field as well. We'll see what the actual percentages end up looking like. But this is going to be wheat. This is going to be flax. These are going to be fallow. So we'll let that harvest continue. Excellent. Maybe the harvest done here? Yes. That's going to be a barley field. And we'll see what this field ends up being. 16% isn't great for the wheat. So we'll just let that get harvested. Okay. So 16% barley or flax. Let's actually go for flax here. That'll be fine. And then out over in these fields, this field is almost done being harvested. It will be fallow this year. There we go. And then these other fields. They need additional work, of course. Let's get this flax field harvested. Okay, that's going to be fallow. Next up will be this wheat field being harvested. And it's almost done. We are, of course, working on some plowing out over here in the meantime. Okay, this is almost certainly very close to done. It's not done yet, though, apparently. There's still a little bit of harvest to be done in this field. Okay, so that's going to be fallow this year. And then we still need this barley field to get harvested. So let's head on over there and get that done. We're hauling goods right now, apparently. And presumably the windmill is going to start work fairly soon, but the wheat has to get turned into grain, of course. Okay, so this field down here is just about done being harvested. This is not going to be flax this year. We need to do some form of crop rotation on it. Okay. New family moving in Nuslo? Noted. So this is going to need to be wheat this year. That's where the fertility is. So that's okay. And then we've got this field, which still needs to be harvested. And we're working on the plowing out over this way. It'll happen eventually. Okay, so this field has not been plowed yet. I'm not shocked about that. We're at 2 months of food here, so we're currently food positive over this way. I'm going to leave a family on construction here for now. And down this way, this field has been planted and is currently being sown. Or rather, it's been plowed and is currently being sown. Looks good. Cool. So I think we might have solved the majority of our issue here, hopefully. I do not want to be importing food for very long. I want to check in on what the food situation here is. Yeah, there's 10 here. Okay. That's very expensive to import, but we did manage to get that done. So for now, that'll do. And the plowing out over here is continuing. This field I want to have harvested. And we're not really working on it at all. Okay. Where are we going? We're going home. No. We're coming over to this field. Right, we're carrying some goods. An animal ran away. What? Why did an animal run away here? Okay. I'm not entirely sure why. Maybe it was a sheep. Very strange. We don't need 2 families on the livestock trading post, to be honest. We're going to go down to 1, and this will be fine. Cool. So that's okay. 1 family there sounds good. 3 families on construction for the moment. So this is absolutely fine. We've only got 2 months of food supply right now, but that'll have to do for the moment. Do we want more people on the forager hut for right now? Temporarily, yes. We'll probably pull people off of that once winter begins, but for the time being, that will do. So plowing is, of course, a bit of a problem. Definitely. Plowing is 100% a problem. Do we have a second oxen assigned here? We do. Plowing and transporting. Okay. So only 1 ox is currently plowing. So we should be starting to harvest over here pretty soon. We're transporting right now still? What are we doing here? Why are we not harvesting this? Okay. I guess we're still transporting stuff, and now we're sowing this field. Both of our oxen are now engaged in plowing, and we're doing some plowing by hand in this wheat field. I don't understand why we're not interacting with this field. But okay. I mean, we do need to get some work done over here, so that seems reasonably fine. But we're not harvesting this field for some reason. I'm not entirely certain why that is. So back down over here, this field is still being sown. Okay. That's fine. So we've got people working on our foraging, and we're getting some amount of food, but we're down to 2 months before supplies run out over here. That's a little grim. Winter is approaching, and we'll see how this ends up going. We'll definitely have the food in our core town. Royal tax increased. Not by much. It's okay. So this wheat field is done being plowed, and now we're sowing it. Looks good. And we've been making some solid progress over here. Now, we just finished our construction of the farmhouse here. I want to have one family assigned to that, and I'm going to remove a family from the livestock trading post for now. We want to have this farm plowed up, ideally, by the end of the month, plowed and sown. I don't know that it's going to be unless we have more families working on it, though. So I'm going to pull 3 out of our trading post, and we're going to put those 4 into the farmhouse. That should be, I hope, enough to get that field done. Okay, so food is definitely dicey right now. No doubt about that. Food is very, very dicey at this moment. We do have our source of food from the wild animals here, so the hunters are working on that. And we've actually got a fair amount of stored food up over here. So that should be okay for the time being. Down here, we're up to 3 months of food. Okay, we're positive on our food there. That looks good. That said, I believe we just bought additional meat from the trading post, and that's very expensive. We don't want to do that long term. That's why we are working on all of this. Okay, so we're working on this plowing, but we've only got 3 people working on it right now. There should be more on the way. Yeah, here they come. They're coming down to help plow the field. Perfect. Checking in over here. Have we started harvesting this yet? No, we have not. And I don't know why. It's very strange, but maybe once they're done sowing these fields, I mean, having these fields sown is important. So that seems good. They're now heading over to these fields to help plow them, I guess. I mean, that's all very important. If we can get them done before the end of fall, that would be amazing. But plowing is a very slow process. No doubt about that. But these fields are intended to be fallow. I have no idea why the barley field didn't get harvested. That is very, very strange to me. Regardless, the communal oven will be baking away very soon. Zawao is running out of fuel over here. We have this woodcutter's lodge, but no one's working in it at this moment, and we should definitely assign someone to the woodcutter's lodge. Okay, so that'll be fine. This field is now sown, so that looks good. We can pull at least one family out of the farmhouse, but I'm actually going to pull 2 out of the farmhouse. I'm going to send 1 here and 1 here. We need some food production throughout the winter over this way. Now, over this way, we've got 3 months worth of food right now. That looks okay for the moment. I want to continue working on our plowing over here, but it's now December. So that's all the plowing that we're going to get done. Noted. We never harvested this barley field. Well, we'll see. So 3 months of food in Waldbrand, and that's going to be fine. That'll get us through the winter. 3 months of fuel here, 16 months of food. So we've got lots and lots of food in Zawao for the moment. And then over here, 4 months of food and 6 months of fuel. So we have enough to get us through the winter. Okay. That's what's important. Our berry deposit is now shrinking, so I'm going to remove some people from the forager hut over here. I want to make sure we have someone working in the granary, and we do. Okay, let's continue to work on our constructions out over here, I think. Well, we don't really need them, do we? Okay, we'll keep these guys in the forager hut. That'll be fine. So over here in Waldbrand, we know we're okay. 16 months of food, 4 months of fuel. So we're mostly a shortage of fuel over here as well. Where is our Woodcutter's Lodge? There it is. So we've got 3 working on the Woodcutter's Lodge. I think it'll be okay. We've got an incoming source. That should be fine. It is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to continue to work on stabilizing this village here. I'm pretty sure this one is stabilized once we have this done. I don't want to have 4 people working on the farmhouse, so we're going to take that down to 1, and we can put these guys back into the trading post. That'll be okay. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Atala, Andy McGar, Ali Lee, Dark Horse, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Tommy Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.